The Hall of Bearings. After the registry began recognizing the guilds of Umber and established the rules of their relationship, its collection of masquerades grew steadily. For a long time, these masquerades that had been paid to the registry as tributes from the guilds had been stored in various caches all over the city. When the Pale Isle was claimed and the White Spire built, these masquerades were transported to a hall that the registry had constructed specifically for the storage of these masquerades, the Hall of Bearings. Okay then.
Inspectore,
At ease.
I was not told to expect you, sir.
I don't suppose you were. But here I am, and I need a masquerade.
Right this way, sir. I do apologize in advance. Our selection of masquerades has diminished since the war began.
It's all right. I'm not picky.
Beautiful, isn't it?
I'd like a masquerade now, please.
All right. First things first. Your element, sir.
Cyrus? What are you doing?
Sir?
What? I apologize. What was the question?
Your element.
Right. Of course.
I can choose! I was gonna say, do I get to choose? Okay, we have the gifts to burn and smelt to set aflame fires of for his glory. The fire burns of umber threads a fine line between blazing brightly and burning out. I think it's gonna be between water and air. With versatile ability, like, I'm not even gonna read fire and earth. I don't know why Cicero, I feel, is... I will go with either one of these two, but I feel like Cicero is more of an earth brand. The ubiquities of stone and soil lends itself favorably to the earth brand's abilities by allowing them to mold the landscape upon which a conflict is set. Through the creation of hazardous areas on the battlefield, earth brands have unrivaled manipulation of the flow of any battle. I do hope that I get to change it at some point. I'm not, but I don't know why I feel like it's the best choice for Cicero. So let's go.
I'm an earth brand.
And the last time you used a masquerade?
5 years.
Vamus tests?
Distinctions.
Accreditor?
60th percentile. Explains why I didn't turn out to be one of the Vegelers.
All right, sir. It'll take me no more than a heartbeat.
We need the masquerade, Cicero. You're its custodian, and you're an imposter. Going around with that stupid cape of yours? Have you forgotten where your loyalty lies?
Are you almost done, Valis?
Just finished, sir.
Memories.
You don't know what
taunting
you've
me.
started, brother. Change. That's what. Change for the Contadani, our people.
Here it is, sir.
Come with me. Come with me, Cicero. No.
Sir?
Thank you, Valis.
Masquerade obtained. So, Quagmire. Oh, so I probably am going to get more masquerades, and depending on the masquerade, I can change the element, maybe. But yeah, Quagmire. Cicero casts a 15 meters wide aura that lasts for 10 seconds. Enemies within the aura have their attack and movement speed reduced by 25%. Okay. More lore, more lore. The Tesoro. The Tesoro. You're not serious, Cyrus said as a smile began to blossom upon his lips. You can't be serious. Are you serious? I held up the paperwork. Everything's been signed for. You can read it if you want. You're serious? By the ages, you're serious? He laughed as he turned his gaze away from me, the blue light of the Tesoro bathing his features. He took a step towards it, his eyes darting up and down as he admired the relic's beauty. How? Must I remind you that I'm not just a simple portiere anymore? I asked, as I pinched the corner of my cape and waved it about. The fabric still grated against my shoulder as I brandished it. I was told that I'd break into it eventually, and it'd soon feel like a second skin. Besides, Ivantino's getting old and the registry was looking for a replacement. I said, turning to face the custodian. Isn't that right? His older face was framed in the blue light of the Tesoro as well. But... so Cyrus was the custodian of the Tesoro? Okay. I think that's what it's saying. Oh, no, Ivantino is the custodian. And I guess he's also there. His older face was framed in the blue light of the Tesoro as well, but his eyes weren't filled with the same wonderment I saw in hers. The azure wash didn't bring to the surface any measure of awe, reasonably so, for he'd been the custodian for over a decade now. Instead, it highlighted the shadows under his eyes, the crispness in the line of his lips. Sure is, Ivantino replied as he stared at the pillar of light. I frowned slightly. There was something in his voice, something hollow. I couldn't quite put a finger on its nature, though. I heard both sorrow and anger in the space between his words. Anyway, there is one last thing that we need to do, your brother and I, he said as he walked over to Cyrus, the perplexing tension in his voice disappearing as quickly as it had come. He held out a little contraption, a bloomer. You know how this works? He asked Cyrus. Well, I will soon, won't I? He replied. I suppose so, the old man said, sighing. I'd best get the materials we need then. Materials? Cyrus said, and not a worry in his voice. What, you thought it was going to be this simple? No, my young friends. Ivantino chuckled. The bloomer is a complicated piece of equipment. You must be precise and well versed in its mechanisms before I fully hand it over to your care. Cyrus shot me a glare. I thought I was done with studying. I shrugged. Give me just a moment, I'll be back with the books, Ivantino said as he walked away to fetch the materials, leaving my brother and I under the quiet watch of the Tesoro. I stepped up beside him. Excited? Apart from the prospect of burying my nose in pages again, he said, pausing as the mood shifted. Yes, he sniffed and dropped his voice a notch. Thank you, Cicero, for this. It pays better, I said, and was surprised at the edge and forcefulness in my voice. Cyrus did not miss the insinuations. He choked a little. He swallowed. I'll do you proud, I promise. A twinge of guilt twisted my heart. Was I so mistrusting of my brother that my first reaction to his promotion was not to congratulate him but was instead to dull the moment with a warning? Yet, how could I not feel this reservation about his motivations? He seemed genuinely enthusiastic, yet all I could think of was how he might seek to use his new position to somehow further his cause for the Contadani. After all, that seemed to be the only thing on his mind nowadays. Constantly, he'd been complaining about how poorly the Contadani were treated in the city, and how someone should do something. But what was he really saying? That we were that someone? That it was our responsibility to... Brother? He said quietly, snapping me out of my thoughts. What's the matter? I felt the muscles in my forehead and around my lips suddenly relax. I had been frowning, scowling. I sighed, pushing away the worry. I shouldn't be... I shouldn't be harboring such thoughts at a moment such as this. This was a joyful occasion. Be joyful? Nothing, I replied with a smile, and put my hand on his shoulder. I was just thinking about how much less I'll be seeing you around. That's not true, he replied, a broad smile crossing his face. Now you'll know exactly where to find me. No more patrols, no more wandering around the Conoscenza. Now I'll be here, and now the honors will be on you to come visit, he said, as Ivantino returned arms, cradling a stack of books and parchments. So come visit, alright? I laughed and nodded. Of course I will visit. Time proved me wrong. In the years to come, I visited my brother in the Hall of Bearings twice at most. Maybe things would have turned out differently if I hadn't left him so alone. Maybe not. The Tesoro sits at the heart of the Hall of Bearings and is one of the few pieces of Dimenticata technology that still work. The Vegelus suspect that the Tesoro was an organizational tool that the Dimenticata used to catalog and compartmentalize their masquerades. When the expeditions further into the shadow of the mountain were carried out, and the rubble above the Tesoro cleared, the bright beam of light that was the Tesoro shot up and pierced the canopy of darkness above them. The discovery hadn't needed to be announced to the city. Each individual could see the beam, wherever they were. A contraption known as a bloomer was discovered close to the Tesoro, and the Vegelus have surmised that it is linked to it. Adjusting and rotating sections of the bloomer and bringing it close to the Tesoro results in the beam of light retrieving and releasing one of the masquerades that float around it. So yeah, I guess he did, like Cyrus did become what's it called? The custodian. Oh my god, such a simple word, and I couldn't find it. Yeah, Cyrus did become the custodian, replacing Ivantino, and in the flashback that we were having here, he was already a custodian, I guess. Such as Valis. I think Valis is also a custodian now. Yeah. What else was I gonna say? Oh, the Masquerines. I only just noticed that Masquerine, they keep saying Masquerine, but it's because, like, I didn't really think about it too much, but it's spelled Mascherine, which is literally masks. It is how we call those masks. It is literally little mask. It's a how do you call it when you do we call them vezzeggiativo in Italian, when you do something like itsy bitsy version of a noun, I guess. So yeah, it's like little masks. Mascherina is the singular one, whereas they do this a lot. It's one of my pet peeves, which, I mean, it's fine. I do understand it, but so many Italian words brought over to English only keep the plural for some reason. Like, for example, salami or pepperoni or all of those things, they're always plural, whereas in Italian we will call it salame or pepperone or, singular. But no, in English it's always plural, even when you mean the singular version. So the singular version of masquerines, well, it wouldn't have the S. It would be mascherine without the S, and mascherina, a singular one. But, well, this game calls them masquerines, so I will call them masquerines as well. That's fine. Skillsman, I think I did already. Who do you take me for? Am I gonna have a fight that I need to do this already? Oh, Caldenar. What? Who's this? Why? I mean, thank you for confirming that I am going to get Calden. I did like him. So yeah, but I already did this. Cool. Let's go.
And there he is. Who's this?
Calden Azarus, mariner of the Sorelle del Mare.
You're Calden.
You know him?
Yes, no, well, Razitof mentioned that he had a brother before, but he never said very much.
Razitof's
my brother?
Is there a reason why he's here?
I know my brother's missing. Inspector Corvus came to me 2 weeks ago.
All right, well, I'm sorry.
It's not that, Inspector. I want to help find my brother in any way I can.
You don't
Yes,
know what you're
please.
getting yourself into. You haven't heard anything from Corvus because he's dead.
What?
Listen, Calden. Sail the winds back to your guild while you can. You don't want this.
Why?
Because this is not the business of the Blue Guild. And if any within the White Spire see you with me...
All right then. I suppose all I can ask is that when you find him, please, I'd like to know.
I love his voice.
You're just going to let him go?
What?
It's his brother, Cicero.
Mariner! I'd like to at least ask you a few questions first.
Of course.
Tristan.
rubbed the old man the wrong way.
All the more reason to do it. Now that both of you are settled, I have business to attend to.
Thank
I
you,
don't trust him.
Valencio.
Have fun, you two.
Inspector, I must...
A few questions does not guarantee you a place in this investigation, Mariner. I'd like to make that clear.
Clear as the belt, sir.
Good. Now, we're headed for your brother's office. I'd like to ask you a few things on the way.
Okay, let's read all of that again. Fine. I find it almost unbelievable that I know so little about this man, considering the friendship that I fostered with his brother. Yeah, sure, friendship. It will seem likely that we would have changed words about this Calden before, but yet, despite all that, I can barely remember Razitof saying anything of him. He told me that he'd a brother before, surely, but scarcely anything more. Who is this enigma of a sibling who had been so shadowed by secrecy? Perhaps I was too hasty in attempting to dismiss him. Perhaps there is more to this investigation he can offer. So, I do have him. Yes. Oh. Can I have up to 5? Interesting. Oh, I don't think it's that I can have up to 5. I think it's that it's going to be 5 characters in general. And these are the characters that I'm going to unlock eventually. Interesting. So, I do have another 4 skill points and water spout, Calden blood. Oh, also, I'm glad I didn't choose water in the end, because apparently Calden is a water brand. Or, no, I mean, he's all blue. Of course, he's gonna be a water brand. I was gonna say maybe maybe it's like a Pokemon situation in which Calden's brand, Calden's element reflects what you chose, like it's something else and not what you chose, but no, I don't think so. Anyway, water spout, blast an enemy with a spout of water for 15 base damage. Okay, nice. Conjures 2 spheres of water that rotate around the caster. Ooh, I love this. Raising the threat. Cicero also had something with threat, but I don't know what that is. Whenever that ally heals. I love Calden already. Okay.
So, fill me in. When was the last time you saw your brother?
Well,
Memory failing you already?
Half a Missouri ago.
2 years. My.
So I guess a Missouri is 4 years.
And the last time you wrote him a letter then?
We don't write to each other.
No?
Interesting.
This is it. His office.
Finally.
Just a moment, Mariner.
Something the matter, Inspectore?
Yes, in fact. You.
Me?
You, Razitof's brother, whom I have heard so little from him about, who last saw him 2 years ago, and during those years you never spoke or wrote to him whatsoever. And now you're suddenly concerned.
Correct.
And you ask if there's something the matter.
Inspectore, the relationship I have with my brother is complicated, but he is still my brother. And if you doubt my concern for him...
I doubt your honesty. Are you certain you know as little about the cases you claim?
Yes. I assure you, on a mariner's moon, I promise, there is nothing I want more than to find my brother.
Let's go in then. Here, let's see what we can find.
I mean, I love lore. More lore, but like, there's so much lore. I'm gonna assume that this is the beginning, so there's a lot of exposition and it's gonna slow down later on, but come on. The world of academia belongs to the Vigilus, but the realm of politics is the domain of the Regenti. These are the members of the registry who keep the country in balance, both within and without the walls of the city. They are responsible for reading the economies and controlling, as much as is possible, the ebb and flow of power within the city. The Regenti are certainly closer to the Vaurone's heart compared to the Portieri and the Vigilus, and are the first he turns to when he requires the handling of sensitive matters. If those matters are deemed too sensitive even for Regenti, then they are handed off to the Inspectores. Okay then. So I guess we're looking for
This is his
things.
work?
All the cases that he's had to work with before. He likes keeping them in the open. Watch his collection grow.
This case is large and relatively recent. It's about
You shouldn't...
Cicero Gavar.
And this investigation is not.
You never mentioned how you knew my brother.
Who are you here for?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Just keep looking.
He was writing about you, huh? Wait, actually, what's that? Oh, the case, that's right. How do I... Oh, there we go. The investigation has taken an interesting turn. Razitof's brother, Kalden Azrus, has been inserted into the picture. He's hiding something, and I wonder what. Perhaps keeping him around wasn't such a bad idea after all. Oh, I like him.
I don't see anything out of the ordinary, Inspectore. Are you certain that there's something to be found here?
No, I'm not.
But yet you're searching through coal?
Do you think I'll find anything?
I don't think of a bed of coal when I'm looking for a place to hide things.
Exactly.
Then maybe that's
What's
the
that?
best place to hide things. Huh?
If you could, Mariner? When you're ready.
Uh-huh. What's that?